The Woman King. Is the title really problematic? I'm a black man, and the title, Woman King, doesn't bother me at all. So why does it bother some of you? The reason why this is titled The Woman King is for many reasons, probably. One of which, throughout ancient and pre-colonial African history, there were African women who literally became kings and emperors, surpassing the traditional indigenous male gatekeeping. I'm going to butcher some African names, words, phrases, pronunciations. I'm sorry in advance. Yoruba female Obas and Alafine or Rampoto, etc. The second reason is because in some traditional African cultures, such as the Nubian kingdoms of Kush, there were traditional lineages of queens that were near equal to kings in power and authority. Queen Amanirenas defeated the Romans, stopping them from ever venturing deeper into the continent. But in most other cultures across the world, whether it be the title of queen or queen mother, the king's mother, queens were not the political equals of kings. In most cases, a queen or favorite wife was simply a vessel to create a male heir for the king. Queens didn't rule, only kings, men, truly did. Unlike a king, a woman's title as queen, really wasn't much of a title, depending on the culture, was solely dependent on her marital status. So if a woman wasn't a part of a culture where queens were near equals to kings in authority by tradition, said woman had to go for the king title in order to be a ruler or shepherd of her people, to realize her true potential, her destiny. And historically, that did happen, not just in Africa, but in other parts of the world as well. In terms of Dahomey specifically, the Fawn of Dahomey, this film is probably, my guess, based on Queen Hangbe, a queen that, uncommon for the particular era in Dahomey history, ruled with power equivalent to Dahomey kings. She was also a twin. It is said that the future kings of Dahomey attempted to erase her history, her legacy, because she was a Fawn woman who proved that Fawn women were capable of being leaders of their people, just as Fawn men and their Fawn brothers were also. It is also said that she might have started the Mino, or Our Mothers, the female regiment, or also known as the Dahomey Amazons. With her, as an example, any royal Fawn person could be the ruler, the shepherd of the Dahomey people, regardless of sex or gender. Historically, men of African descent have been gatekept out of positions of authority on the basis of their race. The Atlantic slave trade, the Arab slave trade, the colonization of Africa, etc., etc. But black women have always had it much harder than the African man. African descent women have been abused and have been gatekept out of their full potential, not just because of their race and their skin color, which are two separate things, but also because of their sex, their gender. Personally, I've never really experienced discrimination, never really experienced powerful discrimination on the basis of being a man. In fact, I've often been spared of it because I was one. But I have experienced discrimination because I am of African descent, because I'm black. I'd expect black men would understand how it feels to be locked out and erased simply because of what you were born as. I guess I was wrong. There are some insecure, seemingly mostly African-American men limited to that particular group, and not all, who seem to have an issue with this movie, who are knowingly or unknowingly seeing African descent women as others and not equals of themselves, not seeing themselves in black women. When African women lead, African men lead. When African women break barriers, we, African men, break barriers too. I see myself in my sisters as much as I see myself in my brothers. Do you? Peace. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.